pond here is a fantastic water source for the deer, of course. Waterfowl use it when they're migrating. Excellent bass fishing in this water as well. We tagged some fish last year to monitor the growth, and they should be putting on some good growth now. There was a lot of fish in the 12 to 15, 14 inch range last year, and some ducks flying over right now. I can hear them. And they're wanting to land in here. Excellent to have this kind of facility on your property. Here they are. Just a view on the hillside above the pond. We're up on an area where we planted a lot of Indian grass and big bluestem last season. These grasses will get up to 8 feet tall and be fantastic deer bedding cover, as well as upland game and turkey nesting and brooding cover and feeding areas. We have a honey locust tree here with a lot of pods on the ground. That's excellent food source for whitetails during the winter time. So there's a lot of food on this property. The seed heads on the native grasses for the upland birds and turkeys, and excellent cover there. And then there's alfalfa right behind this field up in this corner. Can't really see it, but over on this other hillside. Excellent farm. We got some beautiful scenic vistas here. Great places to build. Dream house or cabin, whatever you want to do. We had a lot of deer sign getting funneled through this gate opening, which leads to about a 10-acre clover field down in the bottom that we planted last year. And the switchgrass all along the side hill. Excellent area of heavy cover. This trail leading in and out of that into another field of heavy cover. Some big bluestem and Indian grass. But you can see just a ton of tracks and sign going through that gate. Here we're looking at a view of one of the orchards. A group of 40 to 50 apple trees here. This will be a tremendous food source. They were planted last year. They'll start producing fruit this year, likely a little bit. Next year, 2009, is when they'll really start full production. Semi-dwarf trees, they should produce 200 to 300 pounds of fruit per tree. This will be a tremendous deer attractor. Right below it, we planted 10 acres of clover in the bottomland field you're looking at right now. And above it on the side hill here, a lot of native grasses. The deer haven't made right here. This will just get thicker and taller this growing season. This hillside will be. It'll get very tall, dense bedding cover in there. Just a picture here showing our feeder on this property. It will come with the property. Holds approximately 750 pounds of corn. Nice flat here with another orchard planted down in the bottom. You can see it right there. Here we're down in the bottom behind the stocked pond. I'm looking at one of the stands the landowner has. One of the stands I know he hunted last year or sat in, observed deer, did some filming, etc. And I know he saw several bucks in the 140 to almost 200 class and down in this bottom. Just tremendous. The gate I showed you where they're coming through is right there. Just a ton of deer traffic through there to get to the clover field with a water source on this side. And I just noticed, and no, this isn't set up, there's a shed deer antler right there. I have not looked at it yet. We'll go over there and see what it is, but looks like a nice 2.5 to maybe 3.5-year-old buck will be a dandy next year. This farm is absolutely loaded with big deer. It's in the heart of a heavily managed area. There's a clover planted on this farm. It's just starting to green up right now. It's early in the year. It's the end of March. We've had a long winter. Clover's just starting to green up. Just showing some heavy deer trails here coming out of the bedding area and going down and crossing the creek. Here we're in a major bedding sanctuary area for the whitetails. So you can see it's very thick in here. Shingle oak, multiflora rose, cedars, all kinds of thick cover in here. There's trails throughout this whole area. Just an excellent area to house a big deer or two. Another view from within the bedding sanctuary area. One of them, that is. There's several places like that on this parcel. Some rubs in there. It's very thick in here. Just an excellent area. Excellent security zone for big deer. Places like this is best just to stay out of most of the year and let these deer find refuge here, and so they want to stay in your parcel. But it's very thick in here. There's some rubs here from last year. Some more rubs here on some basswoods, showing you the size of the deer this area supports. Some pretty good sized rubs from this past fall. You can see on the one in the back there the tine marks and how the length of the beam that deer probably had to scratch tines on that limb that's behind that front rub. So pretty good sized deer did these rubs, looks like. Excellent area to really protect deer so they can get some age on them. Another view from within the thick sanctuary cover. We're in a major bedding area. Deer trails, tracks, droppings, and beds just everywhere, and you can see there's a shed laying here. A shed deer antler we just walked up on. Haven't picked it up yet. Nice buck. He'll be a dandy next year. But we'll keep walking. There's definitely this area supports some huge deer, no doubt about it. So we'll move on to the next spot. Some of the thick cover available for the whitetails here. There are quail on this farm. I just kicked up a big covey just a few moments ago. Excellent quail habitat as well, especially with all the native grass that we planted last year. We planted over 30 acres of native grasses, big blue stem, Indian grass, switchgrass, and we'll have 7 acres of alfalfa and 10 acres of clover, along with about 100 apple trees. Tremendous food resources here and cover resources for all wildlife. Here we're looking at a section of rye field that will go into alfalfa this spring. This will be a really nice area to shoot a big deer along the edge of this mature white oak timber stand. More turkey. As you can see here, we got some big white oak, 100 and 150-year-old trees. They'll produce a lot of acorns in the fall that the deer are gonna go crazy for. We'll walk into the timber here. Here we're in the timber. You can see a section of big white oak, beautiful white oak stand, big trees. Just a gorgeous setting here. Fantastic area to hunt October when these things are dropping acorns. A real nice scrape here along the edge of the oak timber and the rye field. We're looking at here your own private access road to the interior portion of your property. You can use this lane to get to your stands without disturbing deer.